If you like living an exciting life, I'm sure you're balancing a couple of hobbies on your plate right now. In this video, I'm not only going to tell you some of my personal hobbies from the past and the present, but I'm also going to be ranking them. S being top tier, and then D being the lowest tier, the most dudu kaka hobbies in the world. Let's get into it. As you see right here, I clipped this mic to my shirt for the first time ever, just because I want to sort of change this video up a bit. It's not only going to be me yapping, but I want to also add like some sort of physical aspects to this video. So for every single hobby I share with you, I'm also going to be showing you an item related to that hobby, just to kind of like make this more visually appeasing to you. Okay, I don't want you just staring at my face the whole time. I also want to be showing you something as well. Without further ado, let's get into my first hobby I'm sharing with you guys today. Now, this hobby is mountain biking, and for mountain biking, I have this polo helmet. Polo helmet of a bike helmet I have right here. I know, I used to think this was awesome and it looked very stylish and everything. I'm not going to put on my head. I can't give you the satisfaction of that. But here's the helmet I used to wear when I used to go out mountain biking with my boy. Right, and look, it's cool because it also has a light. I think the batteries are out. That's how you can tell this is an old hobby of mine. But yeah, pretty much one of my favorite hobbies of all time that I did in the past was mountain biking, just because it was such a good time. If you don't know me, I'm a very outdoorsy person. I love exploring the outdoors. I love nature. So this hobby really allowed me to spend more time outside. And it's kind of cool because this hobby also combined another thing of mine. I'm a huge adrenaline junkie.
Oh, it's still going? Yeah. That was fun.
If you've ever been mountain biking, or if you have ever seen like a video on YouTube, one of those like GoPro videos of people recording their mountain biking sessions, you would know that mountain biking is not an easy sport at all. It's very high risk. There's a lot that can go wrong if you're not careful. And I've been through a couple of experiences, nothing too bad. As you can tell, I'm still here. I'm still able to speak to you in front of the camera. There's definitely a lot of risk when you do go mountain biking. Now, I did have a friend that would go mountain biking with almost every single week at some point, and it was really fun. It was sort of like our tradition. Me and my boy, we would go out every single weekend. We would find new trails on the internet and just go out and dedicate a whole morning just to going mountain biking and to just pushing ourselves to the limit.
Oh.
It was an extremely fun hobby, and honestly, I'm really sad that I kind of dropped it. So maybe I'll start picking up mountain biking again. We'll see how things go, but I really do miss this sport or this hobby. I miss this a lot. Would I go back to this hobby? Maybe. Is this A or S tier? Not really. I will put this hobby in B tier, just because it is a lot of fun, but it's very hard to stay consistent with this hobby. It's a huge commitment, driving all the way to a park that does have mountain biking trails, and then spending all those hours just on that trail mountain biking. But if it's something that you really like doing, then of course with anything, it's easy to do. For me, personally, I'd rather stick to some other hobbies, and that is exactly why I rate it B tier. Now, my next hobby is by far one of my all-time favorite hobbies I'm still being consistent with to this day, and that is going to be videography and editing. And I have this GoPro just as a symbol for this hobby because I'm recording with my camera, so I can't really use that. Oh my god, this was so far away, huh? Now, there's just something amazing about being able to capture moments, putting them together, and then sharing it to the world. I think it's freaking amazing. It's always something great to look back to, and it really does make people happy. Bringing together their vision and helping them share it to the world, I think it's very fulfilling. I really got into this hobby back in the day. I would say probably about 2 years ago. Me and my friends, we started our own podcast. Now, it's still on the internet somewhere. I'm not going to give you any hints or tell you what the podcast is called, but it was just such a good time because I'll be meeting up with my friends and we'd set everything up, start shooting.
No. Yo, can I get the bruh sound effect really quick?
It was like
And it just felt so rewarding being able to put something together, share it to the world, and getting feedback from other people. And that's something that I'm also doing to this day. It's fun because this hobby really evolved into something that I started for fun, and it's allowed me to really make some money on the side. People say that you should have 3 main hobbies: one that helps with your creativity, another one that maintains your physical health, and 3 3, one that makes you money. And I'm happy to say that this hobby helps me with all 3. Really, I do love this hobby. I can't stress this enough. It's also allowed me to start this YouTube channel, which is another big dream I had. And I'm able to fulfill that right now because of this. So I'm super grateful for that. Anyways, I've been yapping a lot about this hobby. What do I rank it? S tier, 100% all the way. I love this hobby so much. I would suggest this to any person. You don't have to do this professionally, but if you do own a business or you just want to get started into social media or something like that, I definitely suggest that you educate yourself on videography itself. Maybe learn how to edit footage, maybe learn how to shoot videos and everything. It's super helpful. I know a lot of things are online and a lot of things are on social media right now, and that is exactly why I rate it S tier. Okay. My next hobby, running. And I got my running shoes up here. It's kind of gross. I got a strict rule that prohibits anybody bringing any type of shoes upstairs into my room, and I broke this rule just for this video. So just for that, I think I deserve a little like and a subscribe. I don't know. I think that would be very nice of you. Okay, moving on. This hobby is very interesting just because originally I wasn't a big fan of running, and I know this is something that a lot of people go through as well when they do start running. I started running because honestly I found this workout online, and okay, I'll be honest, it was The Rock's whole workout routine. I saw a lot of people just trying to do this workout and just failing. Like people were struggling so hard, and I'm not sure if this was The Rock's marketing technique just to get a bunch of YouTubers to do this and completely fail at the workout, so it makes it look like his workout's the best. But it really inspired me to get into the workout itself and just sort of say, hey, okay, if I could do this workout and do it easily, make it my daily routine, then I'm gonna feel proud of myself. And that's exactly what I strive to do. So part of this workout routine consisted of starting every single workout with a 30-minute run minimum. So I started running 30 minutes, started upping my pace every single time, and I wasn't very educated on running and the distances and what is a 5K, what is a 10K. So I was recording all these workouts, and one day somebody was like, hey dude, you know you just ran a 5K, right? I was like, what, a 5K? Yeah, you just ran 3 miles or so. And to myself, I was thinking that's kind of funny because I run a 5K every single day then. That's just how I kind of started running. It just got so easy because I was doing it every single day. So this is something that I sort of started maintaining as a hobby, and I never gave it up just because all the health benefits, and for me it's just fun now. I love running. It's a good way to compete with yourself, push yourself to the limits, and it is also a good social thing because, you know, there's a lot of things you could do with running. You could go out running with your friends, with your family. You can even join running clubs, meet new people. Therefore, I rate this hobby at A tier. Hobby number 4, and that would be video games. Now, if you know me, I have a huge love-hate relationship with video games. I think video games are fun. They're a good way to kick back, sort of enjoy yourself. But at the same time, I also think that video games are a huge waste of time. Video games were never that type of hobby that I was very proud to bring up to other people, which is kind of weird, I guess. I've been playing games since I was a kid. I remember being a little boy in Romania, my dad bringing back cracked laptop with a bunch of cracked knockoff Super Mario games. And ever since then, I was just in love with games. Games are a lot of fun. They're a great escape. You know, you could have the worst day in the world, but if you come back home and play a little game or so, you start feeling a little bit better. Now, I'm a huge action adventure type of guy. I love games like Cyberpunk, Uncharted, Far Cry.
Oh, real? You getting this? You recording? Oh, yeah.
I love those type of games. Any game that has a good story and a lot of action, I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. Now, video games are fun, but as I mentioned before, they are a huge waste of time. People do say that video games cause a false sense of progression, which I think is completely true. Just like anything that creates dopamine and stuff, I think video games are extremely addicting, and there's a fine line between them being okay and video games just sort of taking over your life. Now, is there a problem with bringing your friends over and playing some Mario Party? Absolutely not. But is it my personal favorite hobby? Absolutely not. I barely play games anymore. I used to love them, just not my thing anymore. Therefore, I'm going to put this hobby at the C tier. I know, I'm sorry gamers. I'll let you down. Alright guys, hobby number 5. Martial arts. Okay, I'll be honest, That was kind of lame. Okay, I'll take responsibility. But yeah, I love martial arts. I'm a kid that grew up on martial arts, more specifically Taekwondo. I think it's a great way to be active. It teaches you a lot of discipline. It teaches you a lot about yourself, about your own body. It's a great way to learn self-defense, which is extremely important for anybody. I don't care. You could be a woman, you could be a man, you could be anybody. One thing that you should learn in life is how to defend yourself. God forbid you ever get attacked or anything. It's very important to know how to defend yourself, just because you got that confidence that, hey, if it does go down, you know, I could throw this shit up. You get what I'm saying? It's extremely important to know how to defend yourself. But yeah, I grew up on Taekwondo. I got so much into it that I even started working as an instructor. I even got my 4th degree black belt, which is considered a master in most parts of the world. It's safe to say that martial arts, especially Taekwondo, it's a huge part of my identity. And it's definitely one of my personal favorite hobbies of all time. If you are struggling with discipline, this is a huge hobby that is going to help with that. You are going to get disciplined. It's honestly a huge commitment to start martial arts. That's why everybody that does do martial arts, they are very disciplined people. I think it's definitely one of those hobbies that is going to cause you to go all in on something, just because it's a very satisfying hobby overall. You know, you start training, you see yourself get better, and you want to keep going. You want to learn new things, and it gets really addicting. And then out of nowhere, you get extremely burnt out because everything in life just sort of collapses. You have work, you have everything else. Depending on the gym you go to, it's hard to incorporate it in your schedule when classes are taking place. But if you can make it happen, I think it's a great
hobby.
Therefore, I can't put it in S tier, but it's definitely an A tier hobby. One of my favorites of all time. Alright, so the 6th hobby I want to talk to you about in this video is kayaking / paddle boating. And the thing is, unfortunately, I don't have either of those things around my house. So I am just going to put on these shades because this is definitely something you would wear when you're out kayaking and paddle boating. Now, why is this one of my favorite hobbies? The best way I can describe it, I think it's one of those hobbies that just sort of puts my mind at ease. It's very labor intensive. You're over your rowing. You're using your whole body to move the boat or the kayak. But at the same time, it's extremely rewarding and relaxing. You're out on the ocean, you're out on the lake, wherever you are, and you're just one with nature. It's one of those things that it's so easy to get lost in and you'll spend hours doing, yet it's so simple. Honestly, I think it's really one of the most beautiful things in the world that you could do. Besides hiking and some other stuff, it's really one of those things that gets you grounded in nature. And if you ever do one of these things, I definitely suggest you take a GoPro or something instead of taking your phone. 1, because it might drop in the water and you might lose your phone, never to be seen again. And 2, it's a great opportunity to disconnect yourself from the world and just sort of enjoy the presence of nature and yourself. I'm not a very zenful guy. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but it's definitely one of those things that it's really enjoyable. Now, the problem with this hobby, at least for me, is that it's a hobby that I only do on vacations or when I travel, because it's not very convenient for me to have a kayak or a paddle boat at my house. There's nowhere near me where I could just take a boat out and start paddling. So for me, it's a huge commitment, but it definitely is one of my favorite hobbies. But just because for me it's such an inconvenience to get into it, and it is quite expensive, so that brings it down a little bit for me. I'm going to have to place this hobby at B tier. Alright guys, that was some of my hobbies. I can't share all my hobbies with you just because I want to stay mysterious. I can't share my whole life to the internet. Come on, man. You understand? But those are some of the hobbies that I did want to talk about. I have a couple more hobbies that I could sit here and talk about all day, but that would be such a long video. Anyways, let me know what you think about the hobbies. Let me know if you would change them around on the tier list. And let me know your favorite hobbies. You know, I'm a curious guy, and honestly, I want to know more about you. Anyways, I've been Mark. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned to my next videos, and take care.